Boxing. Yeah, there's a lot of news going on right now. We got breaking news with Jerome Boots Ennis. He's gonna fight October 11th, and he said it was a last resort opponent. That everybody else that he's tried to fight, they were either injured or they had an upcoming fight, and he wasn't able to get a fight with anybody else with a bigger name. He was trying to get the biggest names possible to face to have a more competitive fight, but the most competitive fight that he could find was Usman. Trying to pronounce his name, Usman Lima. He's 14-1 with 10 KOs, and he's had 3 consecutive victories over 3 undefeated fighters. He's relatively unknown. Usman Lima. He's 14-1 with 10 KOs, and that's the opponent that they have. It's official. Jerome Boots Ennis said that his fight is going to be October 11th in the Wells Fargo Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So that's going to be October 11th. That's going to be his fight that he's going to have against Usman. Let me turn this off. Oh my gosh, coffee. I drank coffee earlier. I feel like I'm wired up. I'm live, and I'm actually ready for whatever comes my way. I'm ready for the world. So these are my days off. So I do videos on my days off and sometimes after work, depending on how I feel. But yeah, that's the latest. Jerome Boots Ennis is gonna fight Usman Lima, 14-1 with 10 KOs, and the guy's relatively unknown. It seems like he has some pop. I don't know too much about him, but he's beaten 3 undefeated fighters already. 3 undefeated fighters on his record. We don't know who those undefeated fighters are, but that is the best fight that he could find, based on what Jerome Boots Ennis said, that was a last resort opponent because everybody else was either injured or had an upcoming fight. So that's the fight, October 11th, Jerome Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz. It's like 90%. It's 90% definite that he's gonna fight Keith One-Time Thurman. Again, he's gonna fight Keith One-Time Thurman sometime in October. Sometime in October. That's what De La Hoya is trying to work out. For him to fight Keith One-Time Thurman in around October. Now, they don't have no exact date for that, but both fighters are going to come back. Jerome Boots Ennis is going to come back after defeating in impressive fashion Stanionis, and he's going to fight Usman Lima, 14-1 with 10 KOs, in October 11th. They have a date for him, but as far as Virgil Ortiz, he's going to fight in October. Most likely Keith One-Time Thurman, but it's not really 100%. It's like 90%, and he's gonna fight in October, but there's no official date. But it's gonna be in October. Both fighters are gonna make their comeback, and I think that's that's gonna be interesting how they look in this fight. But I don't think that Virgil Ortiz is gonna be able to pose too many problems to Jerome Boots Ennis. I think Jerome Boots Ennis is a special fighter, and he just has to prove it. And they have. Virgil Ortiz is actually the interim WBC champion. He's not an official champion, but the fight that he's going to have, that Jerome Boots Ennis is going to fight in, I believe it's going to be in the WBO. In the WBO, he's number 4, and Virgil Ortiz is not ranked at all. He's not ranked at all. Anyway, thanks for tuning into the channel. Subscribe to my channel. Tony Also Knows Boxing. Sire #1. Subscribe to my channel. Tony Also Knows Boxing. There's a lot of fake people in Christianity, I ain't gonna lie. But not everybody keeps it real. You know, there's only a few people that keep it real. So I feel like there's always a selective few that God picks. But in Christianity, there's always gonna be fake people, but you gotta focus on being real. And not being like the majority. Stand out. Sire said Christianity super fake, spread the word. There's people that actually do it in a way where it's actually, they do it through the Roman Empire, that type of Christianity. Yes, the Roman Empire, like Constantine. But I don't want to get into religion. But yeah, thanks for tuning into my channel. I appreciate you tuning into my channel. Sir Burr, hi, #1 fan. I appreciate you, Sire. I appreciate all of you. Hector, saludo, mi hermano. Thanks for tuning into the channel. Yes, the latest news is Jerome Boots Ennis is tuning. He's going to fight on October 11th against an unknown opponent named Usma Lima. He's 14-1 with 10 KOs. That's the only opponent that he can find. That was the last resort opponent based on what he said. And he said all the other opponents that he tried to get, they were either injured or they had an upcoming fight. So he couldn't fight the most competitive fighter that he wanted. So he chose whatever was available, which is Usma Lima. Yeah, man, you could send me money. Yeah, if you were Hector #1, can I give you $5? Yeah, you can. You could send it to my Cash App. You could do that. Yeah, if you want to, man. Yeah, it's up to you. You know, Hector #1. Should I donate $5? Yeah. Support my channel, man. I'm trying to improve and enhance my channel. If you want to do that, go ahead. I appreciate it. All right, if you don't want to donate, it's on you. It's on you. You don't have to. Nobody's forced to do anything. But if you want to, it will help my channel, and I'll be able to do more things with my channel. But it's on you. It's no pressure. Sully, yo, thanks for tuning into the channel. Subscribe to that channel. Tony also knows boxing. In other news, we have Puerto Rican boxing is doing very, very good. The prospects, there's a lot of prospects coming up. Hector said hi. How you doing, Hector? #1 fan. Much love to you. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. John Paul Rivera is a prospect who's gonna fight. It's a 2-night event. Yanquiel Rivera is gonna fight August 23rd for the WBA interim championship against Angelino Cordova. He's gonna fight for that championship on the 23rd from Puerto Rico. He's 7-0 with 3 KOs. And on the night before, John Paul Rivera is 12-0 with 6 KOs, undefeated. He's gonna fight Daniel Bailey. He's a very elusive fighter, 15-2 with 8 KOs. He has a lot of skills. He uses a lot of movement, angles, and a lot of footwork. He's very fast and quick with his feet. So that's going to be a good test for John Paul Rivera, who's going to fight August 22nd, the night before Yanquiel Rivera fights on MVP Promotions for the WBA Angelino Cordova, which the 2 undefeated fighters. Angelino Cordova is 19-0, 1 draw, and 12 KOs. And Yanquiel Rivera from Puerto Rico, he is 7-0 with 3 KOs, and he's fighting for that WBA interim championship that Angelino Cordova possesses. And the night before, we're going to have John Paul Rivera. He's a very, very great prospect. I see a lot of potential in this guy. He's very quick. He uses angles. He has power. He has speed, and he has a great jab. And I believe that it's going to be a good test for him fighting Daniel Bailey, who's 15-2 with 8 KOs. He's very elusive. Daniel Bailey's very elusive. I don't think he has a lot of power, but he's very elusive, very quick, and he uses a lot of angles. And so does John Paul Rivera, but John Paul Rivera is a boxer puncher. He has it all. He has footwork, speed, timing. He uses angles, and he throws the jab, and he's very powerful as well. So he's 12-0 with 6 KOs. So that's going to be August 22nd, the night before Yanquiel Rivera fights Angelino Cordova on MVP Promotions on the Zone in the Carib Royale in Orlando, Florida. That's where those 2 fights are going to be. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be interesting. I'm really high on John Paul Rivera. I haven't watched many of his fights. I watched a couple of his fights. I saw highlights, and he looks like he has the goods. He has potential to be a champion. Definitely. 2026. Puerto Rican boxing is definitely going to know that we are in effect more than ever since a while, since the Trinidad and Cotto days. But as far as a Felix Tito Trinidad, we don't have a Felix Tito Trinidad right now. But I think the face of boxing, if you ask me, right now at this moment in this number, I say it's Subriel Matias. He's the face of boxing because he's accomplished the most. He's a 2-time champion. He may not have the same kind of skills that Xander Zayas has, but he's accomplished more than Xander Zayas has. Xander Zayas has the skills. He has the ability. But he's not the face of boxing, but he is very, very popular. But I believe that Subriel Matias is more accomplished. He's a 2-time champion. And I'm not saying that he has more abilities, no. But he has that it factor when it comes to like how he brings fans to him. Like he has that aura. He kind of reminds you a little bit of Felix Tito Trinidad, but he's not really at that level, but he's a great he's a great champion to have in Puerto Rico, and he's relentless, and he's not he's not the same level as Tito Trinidad was, no, but Subriel Matias I think is the face of boxing. After I say Amanda Serrano in female boxing, but I don't want to talk about women's boxing right now. I'm talking about male boxing. I say male boxing in Puerto Rico. The face of Puerto Rican boxing is Subriel Matias. He already beat a two-time champion in Alberto Puello, and that was a great victory. He proved that he can beat a boxer at that level. That boxer Alberto Puello beat Gary Antoine Russell, which nobody saw that coming. And Gary Antoine Russell, he's a champion now. So you can't take that victory away from Subriel Matias. He proved that he could beat a boxer. If he can beat a boxer like that, he can beat anybody in that division. And I believe that Puello will beat anybody in the 140-pound division except for Subriel Matias. That's what I believe. Hector, yep. Sully, I will scribe. I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Subscribe to that channel. Tony also knows boxing. So I believe August 22nd. Well, let me before I jump into that, I say Subriel Matias number 1. Zanazar is I would say Oscar Collazo number 2, because he's already a United Division champion in 2 different weight classes. I think he's a 2-time champion. I think already in one weight class. I think he's a 2-time champion, 12-0 with 9 KOs. So I say he's number 2, Oscar Collazo, as far as accomplishments as well. And then I will put Zanazar 3rd, and then as far as let's see, Rene Santiago. Yeah, Rene Santiago, I don't know too much about, but he recently became champion too a few months ago. But I don't know too much about him, and but we have 4 champions in Puerto Rico right now currently, and I believe with John Paul Rivera, 12-0 with 6 KOs, he's ranked number 11 in the WBA. I believe he's gonna make some noise too, because he's already ranked number 11 in the WBA, and Yanquiel Rivera is ranked number 1 in the WBA, and they're different weight classes. John Paul Rivera is at 126 pounds, which is a very competitive division, and Yanquiel Rivera is in the 112-pound division, and I believe that there's a lot of future he can make with in the 115-pound division and 118. Yanquiel Rivera alluded to eventually the most high he would go in weight would be 118, and he did mention when I asked him in my interview that he would fight Bam Bam Rodriguez. It would be an interesting fight, and he said that that's a fight he always wanted to make. But Yanquiel Rivera said that Bam Bam Rodriguez has other plans to go to 118 very soon. So yeah, he's gonna be in the Bam Bam Rodriguez is gonna be in the undercard of November 22nd of David Benavidez. He's gonna unify the championship against Martinez, and they're both undefeated fighters, and that's going to be good because it's they're both champions. They're both 2-time champions and undefeated. So that fight with Bam Bam Rodriguez and Martinez is going to be to unify all 4 belts. So that's going to be very interesting. So yeah, as far as Puerto Rican boxing, I believe Puerto Rican boxing is in a good place. It's starting to get back to slowly how it used to be. To get to the level of Felix Tito Trinidad, we don't have a superstar like that. But we have somebody like Subriel Matias who is bringing that aura, but we don't know. We have to see more from Subriel Matias, but he has the potential to actually bring that glory to Puerto Rico. But the closest to Felix Tito Trinidad that we ever had, but it's not there yet. But we do have a lot of potential, and we don't have an all-around superstar yet in our weight class, in the different weight classes in boxing. We don't have a superstar yet. But Subriel Matias, his superstar is climbing and is growing, and I believe that he is the most accomplished champion in Puerto Rico right now. And Zanazar has the potential to go really far, and I don't think he's gonna fight Jerome Boots Ennis because he's supposed to defend his WBO belt in Puerto Rico, most likely against Giovanni Santillán, who lost to Brian Norman. He was in the welterweight division, so he moved up. So then he's gonna move up to 160 after that, and he's gonna vacate the belt, and that's why I think Jerome Boots Ennis is probably gonna fight Virgil Ortiz the winner of the winner is gonna fight. Well, they're probably gonna fight the winner of. Yeah, they're gonna fight each other for the WBO vacant title championship. I think it's possible. That's what it looks like. And then that's once Xander Zayas moves up to 160, the belt, the WBO junior middleweight belt is going to become vacant. Where I already see Jerome Boots Ennis is ranked number 4, and Virgil Ortiz is not ranked yet. But I believe that they're probably going to try to make a fight between them once Xander Zayas vacates the belt and moves up. You know, they're trying to build Xander Zayas. They're not trying to put him against, Fundora or Tim Tszyu and people like Virgil Ortiz or Jerome Boots Ennis. I think he could beat Virgil Ortiz. I think Xander Zayas could beat Virgil Ortiz. That's the most winnable fight for Xander Zayas. Virgil Ortiz is the most winnable fight for Xander Zayas right now. I truly believe that Virgil Ortiz he's very powerful. He has a lot of punching power, but he don't have great defense. And I think that Xander Zayas could exploit him and could probably school him. And I think he'll school him and beat him. But it's a dangerous fight because, Xander Zayas, Virgil Ortiz has power. But I believe that Xander Zayas has enough skills to outclass Virgil Ortiz. I said it. Yeah, Tony Orso's boxing. I said it. Yeah, I said it. Mark my words. If Xander Zayas fights Virgil Ortiz, I think Xander Zayas could either stop Virgil Ortiz or beat him by unanimous decision. Don't get it twisted. Xander Zayas could knock out a Virgil Ortiz. Speed is power too. He may not have one punch power like Tito Trinidad, but his skills, and if he really wanted to, he could have knocked out Jose Garcia, the guy that he beat to get the vacant WBO junior middleweight championship. He could have knocked him out if he wanted to, but he played it safe. That comes with experience. The more experience you get, the more confident you are, and the more you'll go for the kill as you keep progressing and learning. As with each fight, with each experience that you have, you're going to learn how to capitalize on finishing an opponent. If you see that you could hurt him, you will finish him. But he just needs more experience to get to that point. So I think Xander Zayas could beat Virgil Ortiz. I said it, yes. Virgil Ortiz is a very great talent. Not taking nothing away from him. The fight in October that Oscar De La Hoya is working out for him to fight Keith One-Time Thurman is a good fight. It's a very, very good fight. I've always been really high on Keith One-Time Thurman, but he hasn't been as active as I want him to be, and he's been injured all the time. And then, he was supposed to fight Tszyu. He was supposed to fight Tim Tszyu. It didn't work out, and then Fundora fought for that. He fought Tim Tszyu instead, and now Fundora's the champion. He beat him twice. He beat Tim Tszyu twice, and he made Tim Tszyu quit in the rematch. So I feel like Xander Zayas is ready for Virgil Ortiz or Tim Tszyu. But I don't think he's ready for a Fundora. I don't think he's ready for a Crawford. I don't think he's ready for a Jerome Boots Ennis. But he could prove me wrong, because Xander Zayas does have the skills. He has the skills and the athleticism and the technique to get to the next level and beat those fighters eventually. But I think he needs to be seasoned a little bit more. But now that he's a champion, I know that eventually he's going to have to prove himself with the elite. Fundora, I don't know about Crawford, what he's going to do when he finishes fighting Canelo. I think Crawford's going to beat Canelo too. I said it. Crawford's going to beat Canelo. I think Canelo is flat-footed. He struggles with boxers. And Canelo has been picking and choosing the opponents that he wants to make himself look better, because he knows that he's not in his prime anymore. Canelo's not really in his prime. He's not. Subscribe to that channel. Tony Also Knows Boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Subscribe to that channel. I believe, I think that Xander Zayas right now, he's only going to get better with time. And I think that if they keep matching him with the right opponents and little by little competitive fighters, competitive fighters, he'll do good. But eventually he has to fight the Fundoras, the Jerome Boots Ennis. He has to fight the Crawfords. Maybe Crawford will fight him if he beats Canelo. I don't know what he's going to do. It seems like he's going to retire. That Crawford's going to retire after he beats Canelo. I don't know. That's what I hear. That's the rumors that I hear. And I think Crawford has alluded to that he's going to retire after he beats Canelo. Because, like, what more does he have to accomplish after he beats Canelo? Like, he doesn't really need to fight anybody else. Like, if he fights the young dogs, like Fundora, eventually the young dogs are gonna be taking over. You know, he's more like in the retirement stages. Like, you know, I'm not saying that he should retire now because he has a big fight to prove that he's an elite. And if he beats, if I feel like if Crawford beats Canelo, Canelo's legacy is gonna be tainted because he let somebody that came from 3 weight classes to beat him. But if Canelo beats, you know, Crawford, it's gonna look like, oh, you know, people expected him to win because he was physically bigger, technically, hypothetically speaking. Because if, you know, people are gonna say that if Canelo beats Crawford, oh, they expected Crawford to lose to Canelo because Canelo is physically bigger, 3 weight classes above. There's a lot of different ways this could go, but I feel like if Crawford beats Canelo, they're going to say that Canelo was old, that he wasn't the same Canelo. They're going to try to discredit him. But if Crawford beats Canelo and he beats him fair and square, they should give him the credit that he beat Canelo. You want to hype up Canelo like he's the greatest thing in the world and that he's still in his prime. But then if Crawford beats him, you want to make him look like he wasn't in his prime. I think that's bull. That's bull. Because at the end of the day, if you had him on a pedestal before the loss to Crawford, let's say if he loses, and then all of a sudden when he loses to Crawford, you're gonna say, oh, Canelo's not the same version of Canelo that he's always been when he was in his prime. No, I don't want to hear that. If Crawford beats Canelo and he beats him fair and square, give him the credit that he deserves. Tony Also Knows Boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Subscribe to that channel. Tony Also Knows Boxing. Don't be afraid to subscribe, man. Only the real cats subscribe to my channel. All those people that are afraid of hearing the truth and they want me to sugarcoat things so I could put Q-tips in their ears so that their ears can be comfortable with the lies, then this ain't the channel for you. This ain't the place that you subscribe to. Go to those other channels, those fake channels. There's a lot of Puerto Rican content creators right now. They're creating content, but they don't know how to speak Spanish. Like, I support those brothers that are doing content creation and they speak only English. But if you're Puerto Rican, you gotta step your game up and start speaking Spanish because a Boricua has to speak Spanish too. Because how you gonna interview Subriel Matias if you don't know Spanish? How you gonna interview Yanquier Rivera if you don't know Spanish? How you gonna interview Abisael Cotto if you don't know Spanish? I'm stepping it up because I speak Spanish. Spanish is my first language. I learned English in school. I was raised in Brooklyn, but at the same time, I spoke Spanish first because my parents taught me Spanish first because they spoke Spanish. And I wasn't allowed to speak English in my house. I had to speak Spanish. So I'm a true Boricua. I could have real conversations and engage with boxers from Puerto Rico and Latin America and content creators from Puerto Rico and Latin America in Spanish. I could talk in full conversations. I could get elaborate. I could speak elaborately and with details and understand everything that's being said to me and everything that I say to them. I know how to speak to them on a level where it's even. I could speak Spanish just as good as them. So I'm not afraid to get out of my comfort zone just because I grew up in the States. That doesn't mean that I have to just only speak English. I'm gonna also speak Spanish because that gives me flexibility. That's my secret weapon right there. That I know how to speak Spanish and I can interview these Puerto Rican prospects that a lot of these content creators that don't know how to speak Spanish can do because they only speak English. They limited themselves. I don't limit myself. I speak Spanish and English. And I already got 2 interviews with some great boxers. One that's going to be a champion, Yanquier Rivera. He's going to fight for the championship on DAZN, August 23rd. MVP Promotions, Jake Paul's his promoter. And Abisael Cotto is going to be the champion as well in 2026, and he's with Universal Promotion. I'm stepping it up. I'm making sure that I reach all the Latin people and people that speak English. I gotta be diverse. I can't limit myself to one language because then I can't reach a broader audience and I can't give all the fans what they want to hear. How about my Spanish fans, my Latino fans that want to hear Spanish, and my English fans that want to hear English? I gotta be diverse. I gotta be versatile. So a lot of those content creators out there, step your game up. Try to learn Spanish or try to improve your Spanish. But they ain't gonna be able to mess with me because I can speak Spanish and English. I'm not limited. But I support these people that are doing content creation. All the Puerto Rican content creators, Dominican content creators, I got nothing but respect for y'all. But if you only speak in English and you need a translator, you ain't gonna be able to deal with me because I can speak Spanish and English, and I'm very versatile. I don't limit myself. You know, I may not have the same amount of followers they have, but my channel's growing and it's getting there. But it's getting there authentically. I don't have to spam anybody. I give people the real truth, the great entertainment, and the honest, unadulterated truth and unbiased truth. I don't give people fake news. I don't give people bad content. I give content that's worth your while, that adds value to your life. I could give you life lessons too if you want, you know, but this is a boxing channel. But I also add other additives on my channel. Like if you want advice or if you're going through something, I could say something that's going to inspire you and it's going to make your day a better day. I'm going to add to your life. I ain't going to take away from your life. I'm not about controversy, but when I keep it real and I say what's on my mind, it could cause controversy because I'm not comfortable lying. And if I have something in my mind and I feel like it's holding somebody accountable or the other content creators accountable, then I'm going to say it. But I'm not trying to be controversial. I'm being real versatile. It's like it edifies, it uplifts. Like if you don't speak Spanish and you're a Puerto Rican content creator and you're struggling with Spanish, then you gotta step your game up. You're gonna struggle against somebody like me because I'm always gonna be able to interview in Spanish as well and give everybody the content that they need in Spanish or in English. But that's I'm willing to work with everybody. But some people that I inspired, there's some content creators out there that I inspired. They don't want to, now they want to act like I didn't inspire them. But it's all good. I got nothing but love and respect for you. But now I see that you don't want to acknowledge me, but I'm going to surpass you because I'm being real. I'm speaking two languages. I'm not only speaking one language. So that gives me an advantage. That's my secret weapon against those content creators that don't know how to speak Spanish. So if you don't know how to speak Spanish and you're Puerto Rican, step your game up. Step your game up. I'm doing it for my people, Puerto Rico, and my Latinos, and African Americans, the Anglos, Filipinos, everybody. This channel's for everybody, but I want to give everybody the ability and the opportunity to hear me in Spanish or in English because I don't want to limit myself to just one language. I speak two languages. When you speak two languages, you have an advantage. And that's me. Tony also knows boxing. Subscribe to that channel. Tony also knows boxing. I'm keeping it real, man. I'm keeping it a buck. Learn Spanish. Content creators that are Boricua. If you creating content and you don't speak Spanish, what kind of Boricua are you representing? The no sabo Puerto Ricans? Nah, man. You gotta be versatile. Speak Spanish so that way you can interview the boxers, the boxing prospects that are coming out of Puerto Rico. There's a lot of great prospects coming out of Puerto Rico. But how are you going to interview a boxer that speaks Spanish and you only know how to speak English? Just because you say huepa, that don't make you Boricua, man. Anyway, man, I got love for everybody doing the content and they're keeping it original. But Tony also knows boxing. Check out John Paul Rivera. He's 12-0 with 6 KOs. He's fighting August 22nd, the night before Yanquiel Rivera. Yanquiel Rivera is fighting August 23rd. But that's all I got for now. And Virgil Ortiz and Duran Boots Ennis, they're both fighting in October and making a comeback fight. And supposedly they're supposed to fight each other in January. And, you know, but we have a date with Duran Boots Ennis. He fights October 11th. But Oscar De La Hoya is trying to get a fight with Keith One-Time Thurman for Virgil Ortiz in October. But he don't have a date yet. But as far as Teofimo Lopez, this is the last thing I'm going to say. He's full of crap, man. He's just calling out big names, but he's not relevant. That's why he's doing it. Turkey Alashito won't even mess with Teofimo Lopez. So Teofimo Lopez, I don't think he's going to fight Shakur Stevenson in January. He's bluffing. He already avoided Super El Matias. He already avoided, what's his name? He didn't make a fight with Crawford. He called Crawford out so many times, but he was just doing that just to get clout. He just to get, you know, be relevant in social media. That's what they do nowadays. And he didn't get a fight with Tank Davis. So all those fights that he said that he wanted, Shakur Stevenson, Duran Boots Ennis, Crawford, he's full of it. He refused to fight Super Matias twice already, and he already refused. He already saying that he's gonna fight Shakur Stevenson, but he's not really fighting him. I don't think so. There's nothing written down. There's nothing on contract or anything like that. So yeah, he's just full of it. So yeah. So Teofimo Lopez, he's the most inconsistent boxer right now. And I said it. He's the most inconsistent boxer right now, Teofimo Lopez. Subriel Matias is his nightmare. He got slapped by Subriel Matias. Subriel Matias is his worst nightmare. So he's just waiting for him to get old. And he's just like trying to fight the biggest money fights before he retires because he knows he don't got it no more. Teofimo Lopez. And Canelo's trying to do the same thing with Crawford, but I think Crawford's going to make him eat crow. I think Crawford's going to make him eat crow. Subscribe to that channel. Tony also knows boxing. Peace. I got more for you later. Subscribe to that channel. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Subscribe to that channel. Tony also knows boxing.